what it was like to live in Alexandria, Cleopatra's city of wonders. Alexandria after dark. The Mediterranean Sea is calm tonight. Moonlight dances across the water in shimmering ribbons of silver, stretching toward the horizon where sea and sky merge into darkness. A gentle wind blows from the north, carrying the scent of salt, fish, damp rope, and distant spices unloaded from ships that have traveled farther than most people of the ancient world could ever imagine. Along the coast of Egypt, beneath a sky crowded with stars, a city glows. It is not Rome, not yet the undisputed master of the Mediterranean. It is not Athens, whose golden age has already passed into memory. It is not Carthage, once a rival so powerful that Rome nearly fell before it. This city is Alexandria, and at the height of its power, there may be no place on earth quite like it. The city stretches along the shoreline in a pattern of lights and shadows. Thousands of oil lamps flicker in homes, workshops, temples, taverns, and public buildings. From a distance, the lights resemble a constellation that has somehow fallen from the heavens and settled upon the land. The city seems alive, not simply populated. Alive. It breathes. It moves. It hums with energy, even after sunset, especially after sunset, because Alexandria never truly sleeps. While farmers in villages along the Nile have long since retired to their homes, Alexandria remains awake. Somewhere within its walls, a merchant counts the day's profits. A sailor drinks away his wages. A scholar studies a scroll by lamplight. A priest completes an evening ritual before the statue of a god. Thousands of separate lives unfold simultaneously. Together they create the rhythm of one of history's greatest cities. The heartbeat of Alexandria. Tonight, we are not visitors. We are residents. We are stepping inside the ancient city as it existed during the age of Cleopatra. We will hear its sounds, walk its streets, meet its people, and experience what daily life felt like in a place many ancient writers considered the greatest city in the known world. Before dawn arrives, before markets open, before officials begin their duties, Alexandria reveals another side of itself. A quieter side, a more mysterious side. A side illuminated by moonlight and fire. To understand Alexandria, one must first understand its relationship with the sea. The city owes everything to the Mediterranean, its wealth, its influence, its fame, its very existence. Without the sea, Alexandria would never have become what it was. The waters before us are not merely a coastline. They are a highway, a network connecting dozens of kingdoms, cultures, and peoples. Across these waters travel merchants from Greece, officials from Rome, pilgrims from distant regions, soldiers seeking fortune, scholars seeking knowledge, adventurers seeking opportunity. Every ship arriving in Alexandria brings more than cargo. It brings news, stories, rumors, ideas. The sea makes Alexandria part of something larger than Egypt. It makes Alexandria part of the world. Listen carefully. From somewhere in the darkness comes the creaking of wood. A ship approaches. Its sail catches moonlight as it glides toward the harbor. The vessel has been at sea for weeks. Its crew is exhausted. Their skin is weathered from wind and salt. Yet, as they approach Alexandria, they feel relief, because they can see it. The beacon, the greatest lighthouse in the ancient world. The Pharos. Even from miles away, its fire dominates the horizon. For centuries, sailors will speak of this marvel with admiration. Many will never forget their first glimpse of it. Imagine what it must feel like. You have spent days battling waves, navigating uncertain weather, sleeping little, working constantly. Then, through the darkness, a great light appears, steady, bright, unmistakable. It promises safety. It promises arrival. It promises Alexandria. The lighthouse stands upon the island of Pharos, connected to the mainland by a massive causeway known as the Heptastadion. Its height is astonishing. Ancient estimates vary, but nearly all agree it was among the tallest structures ever built by human hands. During daylight, it dominates the skyline. At night, it dominates the imagination. The fire atop the tower burns continuously. Workers maintain it with dedication. Its light guides vessels safely into harbor. To travelers arriving from distant lands, the Pharos serves as both welcome and warning. Welcome to Alexandria. Warning that you are entering a city unlike any other. Beneath the lighthouse lies the harbor itself. Even at this hour, it remains busy. Dock workers move cargo under torchlight. Harbor officials inspect arrivals. Sailors shout instructions. Ropes tighten. Wood groans. Water splashes against stone. The harbor never fully rests because the prosperity of Alexandria depends upon constant movement. Trade cannot sleep. Commerce cannot pause. Too much wealth flows through these docks. Too many fortunes depend upon their activity. Every day, ships arrive, carrying goods from across the Mediterranean and beyond. Wine from Greece. Olive oil from distant provinces. Timber from forests hundreds of miles away. Glass, textiles, metals, perfumes, and luxury goods. Some cargoes are ordinary. Others are extraordinary. Ivory from Africa. Rare spices from eastern trade routes. Exotic animals destined for royal collections. Objects so unusual that ordinary Alexandrians may gather simply to catch a glimpse. Each shipment reminds the city of its place at the center of a vast interconnected world. Few people living elsewhere enjoy such access to foreign goods. Few cities possess such international character. In Alexandria, the world arrives daily at the harbor, and because of that, the city develops a personality unlike any other. The streets echo with multiple languages. Greek is heard everywhere. It is the language of government, administration, and much of public life. Yet Greek is far from the only language spoken. Egyptian voices fill markets and neighborhoods. Hebrew conversations emerge from community gatherings. Latin can sometimes be heard among Roman visitors. Travelers bring dozens of accents from countless regions. To walk through Alexandria is to hear the sounds of an entire civilization compressed into one location. This diversity fascinates visitors. For some, it inspires excitement. For others, discomfort. Not everyone welcomes foreigners. Not everyone trusts outsiders. The city is wealthy, but wealth creates competition. It creates tension. It attracts ambition. Yet these differences also contribute to Alexandria's greatness. The city thrives because people from different backgrounds gather here. Ideas mix. Goods exchange hands. Knowledge spreads. Cultures interact. The result is an energy that few ancient cities can match. As midnight approaches, the crowds near the harbor begin to change. Merchants finish their business. Officials return home. Laborers seek rest. Yet new groups emerge. Sailors wander toward taverns. Entertainers prepare performances. Night watchmen patrol the streets. The city transforms. Daytime Alexandria and nighttime Alexandria are not identical. By day, public life dominates. Government offices function. Markets bustle. Temples host ceremonies. The city displays its power openly. At night, life becomes more personal, more intimate, more secretive. Conversations happen behind closed doors. Deals are negotiated quietly. Relationships develop. Rumors spread. Plans take shape. Not every important event occurs beneath the sun. Many unfold beneath the stars. The moon climbs higher. Its pale light illuminates rooftops and columns. From a distance, the city appears beautiful, almost peaceful. Yet beauty can be deceptive. Alexandria is a city of opportunity. Opportunity attracts dreamers. But it also attracts criminals. Somewhere in the darkness, a thief studies a potential target. A smuggler arranges an illegal shipment. A spy gathers information for a foreign power. Political rivals discuss schemes that could alter lives and fortunes. The same harbor that welcomes merchants can also conceal danger. This dual nature defines Alexandria. Brilliant and troubled, prosperous and unstable, civilized and unpredictable. To live here is to experience both sides. Ordinary residents understand this reality well. They know which streets remain safe after dark. They know which taverns attract trouble. They know which neighborhoods are best avoided at certain hours. Every great city develops unwritten rules. Alexandria is no exception. Yet, despite its dangers, people continue arriving. Thousands upon thousands, year after year, generation after generation. Why? Because the rewards can be extraordinary. A successful merchant might become wealthy beyond imagination. A talented scholar might gain royal patronage. A skilled craftsman might find opportunities unavailable elsewhere. A sailor might hear stories that inspire new journeys. Alexandria offers possibilities. And possibilities are powerful. They draw people across deserts and seas. They convince individuals to leave familiar homes behind. The city becomes a magnet for ambition. That ambition can be felt everywhere. In the harbor, in the markets, in the palaces, even in the quiet hours of the night. Far beyond the waterfront rises another part of Alexandria, the residential districts. Here, the city reveals a different character. Families gather for evening meals. Children sleep. Neighbors share conversations from rooftops cooled by the sea breeze. The sounds are softer. The pace is slower. Life feels more personal. Most Alexandrians are not wealthy merchants or influential officials. They are ordinary people. Workers, craftsmen, servants, shopkeepers, laborers. Their lives form the foundation upon which the city's greatness rests. Without them, ships would not unload. Markets would not operate. Buildings would not be maintained. Temples would not function. History often remembers rulers, yet cities are sustained by ordinary people. Tonight, thousands of such people rest within Alexandria's walls. Tomorrow they will rise before dawn. Some will head toward the harbor, others toward workshops, others toward markets or temples. Each will play a role in the city's endless cycle of activity, and above them all stands the lighthouse, still burning, still watching, still guiding travelers toward Alexandria. Its light reflects across the sea like a pathway through darkness. Perhaps somewhere beyond the horizon, another ship has already spotted it. Another crew is steering toward the harbor. Another group of strangers is preparing to enter the city. They cannot yet see its streets. They cannot yet hear its voices. They cannot yet understand its complexity. But soon they will. Soon they will walk the same roads, breathe the same air, marvel at the same wonders. For Alexandria is more than a city. It is an experience, a meeting place between worlds, a crossroads of civilizations, a place where commerce, culture, power, and knowledge intersect. And in the age of Cleopatra, it stands near the center of human history. Tonight, beneath the stars, that greatness feels almost tangible. The sea whispers against the shore. The lighthouse burns steadily. The harbor remains awake, and Alexandria continues its endless conversation with the world. The city waits for dawn, but for now, the night belongs to it. The night deepens. The moon hangs high above the Mediterranean, bathing Alexandria in pale silver light. Along the harbor, the rhythm of work continues despite the late hour. The city may be entering the quietest portion of the night, but quiet in Alexandria is never truly silent. The harbor remains awake. It always does. This is the engine that drives the city. Without it, Alexandria would be little more than another coastal settlement. With it, Alexandria becomes one of the most powerful cities in the ancient world. A newly arrived merchant vessel slowly glides toward the dock. Its hull bears scars from storms encountered during its voyage. The ropes are worn, the sail is patched in several places, yet the ship has arrived safely, and that alone is cause for gratitude. Crew members move quickly. Orders are shouted. Lines are thrown. Dock workers prepare to secure the vessel. Nearby officials wait patiently, carrying wax tablets and records. Every cargo entering Alexandria must be documented. Every shipment must be counted. Every tax must be collected. The prosperity of the kingdom depends upon efficiency. Nothing escapes notice for long. As workers unload crates beneath torchlight, the contents reveal the vast reach of Alexandria's commercial network. Wine jars from the Aegean, olive oil from distant shores, fine pottery, textiles dyed in brilliant colors, perfumes sealed in delicate containers, rare woods, metals, jewelry, exotic animals. The harbor is a parade of the world's treasures. To stand here is to witness the Mediterranean economy in motion. The ancient world converges at these docks. A merchant from Rhodes negotiates with a trader from Cyprus. A sailor from Italy argues over payment. An Egyptian laborer carries cargo toward a warehouse. A Jewish broker examines imported goods. Languages blend together until individual voices become part of a larger symphony. The sound of Alexandria. For newcomers, the city can feel overwhelming. Everything moves quickly. Everything feels larger than expected. The crowds are immense. The buildings impressive. The opportunities endless. Yet beneath the surface, Alexandria follows its own rules. Veteran merchants understand these rules well. They know which officials can expedite paperwork. They know which warehouses offer the safest storage. They know when prices are likely to rise or fall. Knowledge is valuable here, sometimes more valuable than gold. A successful merchant survives not through strength, but through information, and information flows constantly through Alexandria. News travels with every ship. One vessel brings reports of political unrest in Greece. Another carries rumors of military campaigns. A third arrives with stories of drought, prosperity, rebellion, or royal intrigue. By the time information reaches inland cities, Alexandrians often already know about it. The harbor serves as a gateway, not only for goods, but also for ideas. This gives Alexandria an advantage. A city informed about the world can respond more quickly to change. That awareness becomes one of its greatest strengths. Beyond the waterfront, torches illuminate streets that stretch inland through carefully planned districts. Unlike many ancient cities that grew gradually over centuries, Alexandria was designed. Its broad avenues reflect deliberate planning. Its layout reveals ambition. The city was built to impress, and impress it does, even at night. Moonlight glimmers upon white stone walls. Columns cast long shadows across open spaces. Public buildings rise above surrounding structures. Visitors arriving after dark may see only fragments of the city, yet even those fragments inspire awe. Imagine walking these streets. The sea breeze follows you inland. The distant sounds of the harbor remain audible. Some shops have closed. Others remain open. A baker finishes preparations for tomorrow's bread. A tavern welcomes late customers. A craftsman works by lamplight, completing a commission before dawn. Everywhere there is activity, not frantic, not chaotic, simply continuous. Alexandria never completely stops. In one neighborhood, a group of sailors gathers outside a tavern. Their voyage has ended. For tonight, responsibility gives way to celebration. Laughter spills into the street. Stories are exchanged. Exaggerations become more dramatic with every cup of wine. One sailor claims to have survived a storm that nearly destroyed his vessel. Another insists he has seen lands beyond the imagination of ordinary men. Whether the stories are true matters less than the telling. Such gatherings are common. The harbor attracts people accustomed to risk. Risk creates stories. Stories create legends. And Alexandria loves legends. Not far away, musicians perform for paying audiences. Simple melodies drift through the night air. Some listeners pause only briefly. Others remain for hours. Entertainment is not limited to the wealthy. Ordinary citizens also seek moments of joy. Life can be difficult. Work can be exhausting. Music offers escape. So does conversation. So does companionship. The city contains countless small moments, rarely recorded by historians. A father returning home after a long day. Friends sharing a meal. Children asleep beneath the protection of their families. An elderly woman watching the stars from a rooftop. These lives may never appear in official histories, yet they are the true foundation of Alexandria. Without them, the city would be nothing more than stone. It is people who transform architecture into civilization. As the night advances, the residential districts grow quieter. Doors close. Lamps are extinguished. Families settle into sleep. But not everyone sleeps comfortably. Alexandria is wealthy, extraordinarily wealthy. Yet wealth is not distributed equally. Magnificent homes stand only a short distance from crowded living quarters. Prosperity and hardship exist side by side. A successful merchant may dine on imported delicacies. A laborer may worry about tomorrow's wages. Such contrasts are common throughout history. Alexandria is no exception. For every fortune made in the harbor, there are countless workers whose labor made that fortune possible. The dock worker unloading cargo, the porter carrying supplies, the craftsman producing goods, the servant maintaining households. Their contributions sustain the city. Yet their names are rarely remembered. History often favors the powerful. Night, however, treats everyone equally. The darkness covers rich and poor alike. The moon shines upon palaces and humble homes without distinction. For a few quiet hours, the city seems united beneath the same sky. Above that sky, countless stars burn. Ancient Alexandrians study them with fascination. Many believe the heavens influence human affairs. Others simply admire their beauty. Either way, the night sky holds special significance. This is a city that values knowledge. Curiosity thrives here. Questions matter. Scholars debate ideas that will shape future generations. Mathematicians search for patterns. Astronomers observe celestial movements. Philosophers discuss the nature of existence. The pursuit of understanding is woven into the city's identity. Even now, somewhere in Alexandria, a scholar sits beside an oil lamp reading a scroll. His room is quiet. Outside, the city continues its nightly rhythm. Inside, he studies. Perhaps he is copying a text. Perhaps translating one. Perhaps searching for answers. The library may sleep tonight, but the spirit of learning never entirely rests. Knowledge itself becomes a kind of commerce in Alexandria. Ideas are imported. Ideas are exported. Ideas travel the same routes as merchants and sailors. The city becomes famous not only for wealth but also for wisdom. That reputation attracts ambitious minds. Some arrive seeking education. Others seek recognition. Many hope to leave their mark upon history. Few places offer greater opportunity, yet opportunity often brings competition. Competition creates rivals, and rivals create tension. Political discussions unfold quietly behind closed doors. Influential families protect their interests. Officials maneuver for advantage. Power is never static. In a city this important, every decision carries consequences. Every alliance matters. Every mistake can be costly. The ordinary citizen may not witness these struggles directly, yet their effects ripple throughout society. Taxes, trade policies, public projects, military decisions. The lives of common people are shaped by choices made far above them. Alexandria's greatness depends upon stability, but stability is never guaranteed. This reality becomes increasingly important as the years pass, especially during the age of Cleopatra. Though she has not yet entered our story, her future presence already casts a shadow across the city. One day she will walk these streets. One day she will gaze upon this harbor. One day she will understand that Alexandria is both her greatest strength and her greatest challenge. For now, however, the city belongs to the night. The harbor still glows beneath torchlight. The lighthouse continues burning. The sea remains restless. Waves roll steadily toward shore, repeating a rhythm older than civilization itself. Generations have listened to this sound. Generations will continue listening long after Cleopatra is gone. Empires rise and fall. Dynasties appear and disappear. But the sea endures. Alexandria exists because of that sea. Its future depends upon it. Its identity is inseparable from it. As the darkest hours of night approach, activity gradually slows. The harbor becomes calmer. The streets become quieter. The city exhales. For a brief moment, Alexandria seems almost peaceful. Yet beneath that calm surface lies enormous energy waiting for dawn. Within a few hours, the markets will awaken. The docks will become crowded. Merchants will begin negotiations. Officials will start their duties. The city will once again reveal its full power. But tonight offers something different. Tonight allows us to see Alexandria as its residents saw it, not merely as a center of commerce, not merely as a symbol of wealth, but as a living place, a place filled with hopes, fears, ambitions, and ordinary routines, a city illuminated by moonlight, a city shaped by the sea, a city standing at the crossroads of the ancient world. And as the stars slowly drift overhead, Alexandria waits for another day to begin. Chapter 2. Born from a Dream. Long before Cleopatra ruled Egypt, long before Roman armies marched across the Mediterranean, long before the great library, filled with hundreds of thousands of scrolls, there was only a coastline, a stretch of land between sea and desert, quiet, windswept, unremarkable, at least at first glance. Few people standing here in the 4th century BCE could have imagined that one day this shoreline would become home to one of the greatest cities in human history. Yet history often begins with imagination. Before monuments rise, before harbors fill with ships, before scholars gather and empires compete, someone must first imagine what does not yet exist. For Alexandria, that dream belonged to a young conqueror whose ambitions seemed limitless. His name was Alexander. By the time he arrived in Egypt, Alexander had already achieved what many rulers could only fantasize about. Kingdom after kingdom had fallen before him. Armies that once appeared invincible had been defeated. Cities had opened their gates. Empires had collapsed. His victories stretched across vast territories from Greece into Asia. To his followers, he seemed unstoppable. To his enemies, he seemed inevitable. Yet Alexander's ambition extended beyond military conquest. He did not merely wish to rule lands. He wanted to shape the future. He wanted to build, to create, to leave behind something greater than victories alone. In 332 BCE, Egypt welcomed him as a liberator rather than a conqueror. The Persian Empire had ruled the region, and many Egyptians saw Alexander as an alternative to foreign domination. The young Macedonian king understood the importance of Egypt immediately. This was not simply another territory. It was one of the wealthiest and most ancient civilizations on Earth. Its fertile lands produced enormous quantities of grain. Its traditions stretched back thousands of years. Its strategic position connected Africa, Asia, and the Mediterranean world. Control Egypt, and one controlled a vital crossroads of commerce and power. But Alexander wanted more than control. He wanted a city worthy of his vision. Ancient writers tell us that Alexander personally inspected the coastline. He studied the geography carefully. The location he selected possessed remarkable advantages. To the north lay the Mediterranean Sea. To the south stretched the fertile Nile Delta. Nearby stood the island of Pharos. Natural harbors offered protection for ships. Trade routes converged in the region. Everything necessary for a great city was already present. It simply needed someone to recognize the opportunity. Alexander did. Legend later claimed he sketched the city's outline himself. Whether entirely true or not, the story reflects an important reality. Alexandria was never an accident. It was planned, designed, envisioned. Unlike older cities that expanded gradually over centuries, Alexandria began as a deliberate project. Every street, every district, every public space, all emerged from a larger vision. The goal was extraordinary. Alexander wanted to create a city that would connect worlds, a place where Greek culture and Egyptian tradition could meet, a center of trade, a center of learning, a center of power, a city that reflected the scale of his ambitions. Standing on this coastline, he could already imagine it, wide avenues stretching toward the horizon, harbors crowded with ships, markets overflowing with goods from distant lands, monuments celebrating achievement, temples honoring gods, palaces housing rulers, a city unlike any other. The dream was bold, perhaps impossibly bold. Yet history often rewards boldness. Construction began. Surveyors measured land. Engineers developed plans. Laborers started transforming vision into reality. The work demanded immense effort. Roads had to be built. Infrastructure established. Buildings constructed. Harbors developed. Every achievement required thousands of hands. Stone by stone, block by block, the city emerged. And it grew quickly, remarkably quickly. Trade recognized opportunity. Merchants arrived. Craftsmen followed. Families settled. Investors committed resources. Within a relatively short period, Alexandria began attracting attention across the Mediterranean. People sensed its potential. The city occupied the perfect position. Goods flowing from the Nile could easily reach international markets. Foreign products arriving by sea could move inland through Egypt. Commerce flourished. Wealth accumulated. Prosperity encouraged further growth. Soon, Alexandria was no longer merely a project. It was a destination. Yet Alexander himself would never see its ultimate success. His life moved rapidly. New campaigns demanded attention. New territories awaited conquest. He departed Egypt. The city continued developing without him. Then, in 323 BCE, everything changed. Alexander died. He was only 32 years old. The conqueror who had reshaped the ancient world suddenly vanished from it. His empire fragmented. Generals competed for power. Alliances shifted. Wars erupted. The future became uncertain. Many ambitious projects might have disappeared during such turmoil. Alexandria did not. Instead, it became even more important. One of Alexander's generals, Ptolemy, gained control of Egypt. Unlike some rivals, Ptolemy understood the value of Alexandria immediately. He recognized its strategic advantages, its economic potential, its symbolic importance. Rather than neglect the city, he invested in it. Under Ptolemy and his successors, Alexandria flourished. The city became the capital of a new dynasty, the Ptolemaic Kingdom. For nearly 3 centuries, this dynasty would rule Egypt, and Alexandria would stand at the center of that rule. The transformation was remarkable. Palaces rose along the waterfront. Public buildings expanded. Harbors grew busier. Population increased dramatically. What began as a dream became reality, then became something even greater, a phenomenon. Visitors arriving from foreign lands often struggled to describe Alexandria adequately. Its scale impressed them. Its wealth astonished them. Its diversity fascinated them. Few cities combined so many advantages. The Mediterranean brought commerce. The Nile provided resources. Royal patronage encouraged development. Strategic geography ensured relevance. Alexandria seemed destined for greatness. And greatness attracts greatness. Scholars came seeking opportunity. Artists sought patrons. Merchants pursued profit. Officials pursued influence. Every arrival strengthened the city further. Success generated more success. This cycle continued generation after generation. As decades passed, Alexandria's identity became clearer. It was not merely Egyptian. It was not merely Greek. It was something unique, a blend, a meeting point, a place where different traditions interacted daily. Greek architecture stood beside Egyptian influences. Religious practices overlapped. Languages mixed. Ideas traveled freely. The city developed its own personality. Distinct, confident, cosmopolitan. By the time Cleopatra was born, Alexandria had become one of the most famous cities in existence. People across the Mediterranean knew its name. They knew of its lighthouse, its scholars, its wealth, its rulers. For ambitious individuals, Alexandria represented possibility. The city offered opportunities unavailable elsewhere. A merchant could become rich. A scholar could become renowned. A politician could gain influence. A ruler could command immense resources. The dream that began with Alexander had evolved far beyond its original form. Yet traces of the founder's vision remained visible. Every broad avenue, every harbor, every public monument, all reflected deliberate planning. The city continued carrying the imprint of the man who imagined it, even after centuries, even after generations had forgotten details of its construction. The dream endured. That dream created the world Cleopatra would inherit, a city unmatched in wealth, a city unmatched in knowledge, a city unmatched in ambition. But greatness carries responsibilities and dangers. The larger Alexandria became, the more valuable it became. The more valuable it became, the more others desired control over it. Rivals watched. Empires watched. Rome watched. For now, however, those challenges remain in the future. The city continues growing. The harbors continue filling. The streets continue expanding. Alexandria still believes its greatest days lie ahead. And perhaps they do, because in the generations to come, this remarkable city will witness triumphs and tragedies beyond anything its founder could have imagined. A queen will rise. Empires will clash. History will change. But none of it would be possible without the dream that began here. On a quiet stretch of Egyptian coastline, when one ambitious young conqueror looked across sea and sand and imagined a city that did not yet exist, a city called Alexandria. Number chapter 3. Walking the Great Streets. The sun has risen over Alexandria. Golden light spreads across the Mediterranean, illuminating rooftops, columns, and harbor walls. The city that seemed mysterious beneath the moon now reveals itself in full. The streets awaken. Doors open. Shops prepare for business. Merchants arrange goods for display. Laborers begin another day of work. The sounds of the city grow steadily louder. Footsteps, voices, wheels rattling over stone, animals moving through crowded avenues, the distant cries of dock workers at the harbor. Alexandria is awake. And nowhere is its energy more visible than in its streets. To understand what it was like to live in Alexandria, one must walk those streets, not as a visitor rushing toward famous landmarks, not as a foreign ambassador escorted through the royal district, but as an ordinary resident, a citizen beginning another day in one of the greatest cities of the ancient world. At first glance, Alexandria feels different from many ancient cities. The difference begins with its design. Unlike settlements that expanded slowly over centuries, Alexandria was planned. Its streets were laid out according to a deliberate vision. Wide avenues cut through the city. Major roads intersect at organized angles. Districts possess clear identities. Visitors often remark upon the orderliness of the layout. The city feels modern by ancient standards. Practical, efficient, grand. The Canopic Way serves as the city's main artery. This broad avenue stretches across Alexandria, carrying an endless flow of people and activity. Merchants walk alongside laborers. Officials pass craftsmen. Foreign travelers navigate crowds speaking languages they may not understand. Everyone shares the same streets. Everyone becomes part of the same urban rhythm. The avenue is lined with impressive buildings. Columns support covered walkways. Public structures display the wealth and ambition of the city. Markets spill outward into surrounding areas. The road becomes more than transportation. It becomes a stage upon which daily life unfolds. Imagine standing here. The morning air remains cool. The heat of the day has not yet arrived. Around you, Alexandria moves with purpose. Some people hurry, others stroll. Many carry goods. Many carry news. Many carry hopes for what the day may bring. The city contains hundreds of thousands of stories. Every face belongs to one. A baker begins his morning long before sunrise. By now, the aroma of fresh bread drifts through nearby streets. Customers gather. Some purchase enough for entire families. Others buy only what they can afford. Bread is more than food. It is necessity, the foundation of daily life. Nearby, a water seller makes his rounds. Fresh water remains essential in a crowded city. His work may seem ordinary, yet Alexandria depends upon countless ordinary tasks. Without them, the city would cease to function. Further along the avenue, craftsmen open workshops. Woodworkers prepare tools. Metalworkers light furnaces. Potters organize materials. Textile workers begin production. Every profession contributes to the larger economy. Every occupation supports the city's prosperity. The work is demanding. Hours are long. Competition is constant. Yet opportunities exist here that few places can match. Alexandria rewards skill. A talented craftsman can attract wealthy customers. A successful merchant can build considerable influence. A clever entrepreneur can transform modest beginnings into prosperity. The city encourages ambition. Sometimes that ambition succeeds. Sometimes it fails. But the possibility remains. That possibility attracts people from across the Mediterranean. As the morning progresses, the crowds grow larger. The diversity becomes impossible to ignore. A traveler arriving from a distant village may feel overwhelmed. Faces from different cultures appear everywhere. Clothing styles vary. Languages mix. Religious symbols differ. The city contains an extraordinary range of backgrounds. Greek remains the dominant language of administration and public life, yet Egyptian traditions remain deeply rooted. Jewish communities contribute significantly to commerce and scholarship. Foreign merchants bring customs from their homelands. The result is a cultural mosaic, unlike almost anywhere else in the ancient world. Living in Alexandria means encountering difference every day. For some, this diversity inspires curiosity. For others, suspicion. Yet it shapes the city's character regardless. Alexandria becomes a place where ideas travel. New fashions appear. Foreign products gain popularity. Cultural influences spread rapidly. The city serves as a bridge connecting civilizations. This role brings advantages. It also creates tensions. Different communities do not always agree. Competition for wealth and influence sometimes produces conflict. Yet despite occasional friction, the city continues functioning because cooperation benefits everyone. Trade depends upon stability. Prosperity depends upon interaction. The streets themselves become evidence of this reality. Every corner reveals another example of cultures meeting, another exchange, another conversation, another transaction. At a busy intersection, a merchant displays imported goods. His customers gather immediately. Some products originate hundreds or even thousands of miles away. Rare spices, fine fabrics, decorative objects, exotic curiosities. Many Alexandrians enjoy seeing items from distant lands. The merchandise serves as a reminder of the city's global connections. The world arrives here, not metaphorically, literally. Ships bring foreign goods daily. Those goods eventually reach the streets, and through them, ordinary citizens experience places they may never visit. A child examining an imported object may never cross the sea. Yet the sea has come to him. This connection to distant regions contributes to Alexandria's sense of importance. Residents understand that they live somewhere special, not merely a city, a crossroads, a center, a place where events matter. News travels quickly through such an environment. Rumors spread even faster. Political developments become common conversation. Merchants discuss economic conditions. Citizens speculate about royal decisions. Travelers share reports from abroad. Information becomes a form of currency. Those who possess valuable information possess influence. The streets function as channels through which knowledge flows. A single conversation may pass through dozens of people before day's end. Some details remain accurate. Others become distorted, but the exchange never stops. As midday approaches, the temperature rises. Shadows become valuable. Covered walkways offer relief. Many businesses continue operating, despite the heat. Work cannot simply stop. The city is too busy, too ambitious, too dependent upon constant activity. Near the marketplaces, the atmosphere grows particularly intense. Vendors advertise loudly. Customers negotiate prices. Animals move through crowds. The scent of food fills the air. Fish, bread, fruit, vegetables, olive oil, wine, everyday necessities share space with luxury goods. The marketplace represents Alexandria in miniature. Different classes, different cultures, different professions, all gathered together, all participating in the same economic system. The wealthy arrive accompanied by servants. The poor count every coin carefully, yet everyone must eat. Everyone must purchase supplies. The market becomes common ground. The experience is rarely quiet. Noise is constant. Movement is constant. Life is constant. For many residents, this environment feels normal. For visitors, it can feel astonishing. Ancient writers often describe Alexandria as vibrant, bustling, energetic. The marketplace explains why. This is urban life at its most intense. Beyond commercial districts lie residential neighborhoods. These areas reveal another side of the city. Here, daily routines unfold at a slower pace. Families manage households. Neighbors interact. Children play. Domestic life continues largely beyond the attention of historians. Yet it remains central to the Alexandrian experience. Most residents are not famous. Most never appear in historical records. Their lives nevertheless matter. The city exists because of them, because of their labor, their purchases, their relationships, their routines. History remembers queens and kings. Cities remember everyone. Walk through these neighborhoods, and ordinary life becomes visible. A mother preparing a meal, a father returning from work, children learning skills necessary for adulthood, elderly residents sharing stories and advice. These scenes repeat endlessly, generation after generation. The details may change. The human experience remains familiar. Across centuries, certain aspects of life remain surprisingly recognizable. People worry about income. They care about family. They hope for security. They seek happiness. Ancient Alexandria is no different. The buildings may differ. The technology may differ. The political system may differ. But human nature remains remarkably consistent. As afternoon gradually gives way to evening, the city begins another transformation. Workers complete tasks. Merchants calculate profits. Citizens return home. The pace changes, not because activity stops, but because priorities shift. The commercial energy of the day gives way to social life. Friends gather. Families share meals. Conversations continue. The city remains active. Only the nature of that activity evolves. Soon darkness will return. The streets will once again glow beneath torchlight and lamps. Alexandria will reveal its nighttime character. Yet even after sunset, the memory of the day's movement lingers. The crowds, the noise, the ambition, the diversity, the endless flow of people through broad avenues and narrow side streets. This is what makes Alexandria extraordinary. Not merely its monuments, not merely its wealth, not merely its rulers, but its people. Hundreds of thousands of individuals living side by side in one of the most dynamic cities the ancient world had ever seen. Every morning, they emerge into the streets. Every evening, they return home. Together they create something larger than themselves. A city unlike any other. A city of opportunity. A city of complexity. A city of wonder. A city called Alexandria. And tomorrow, as the sun rises once more above the Mediterranean, those streets will fill again. The story will continue. The city will continue. And life in Alexandria will move forward as it always has, one day, one conversation, and one journey at a time. Chapter 4. The Harbor at Dawn. Before the streets of Alexandria fully awaken, before merchants open their shops, before officials take their places in government offices, the harbor is already alive. The first light of dawn spreads across the Mediterranean Sea, painting the horizon in shades of gold, pink, and pale blue. For a brief moment, the city seems suspended between night and day. The Pharos lighthouse still burns. Its great beacon, which guided ships through darkness, remains visible against the fading stars. Soon the rising sun will make its flame unnecessary, but for now, it continues its watch over the harbor. The sea is calm. Gentle waves roll toward the shoreline. Seabirds circle overhead. The scent of salt fills the cool morning air. This is one of the most beautiful moments in Alexandria. It is also one of the busiest, because while much of the city still sleeps, the harbor has already begun another day of work. For Alexandria, the harbor is not simply a waterfront. It is the heart of the city, the source of its wealth, the reason for its power, the engine that drives its prosperity. Everything begins here. Without the harbor, Alexandria would never have become one of the greatest cities in the ancient world. Every day ships arrive from distant shores. Every day cargo is unloaded. Every day fortunes are made and lost. Every day the Mediterranean delivers the world to Alexandria's doorstep. As dawn brightens the sky, dark silhouettes appear on the horizon. Ships. Some are large merchant vessels, heavily loaded with cargo. Others are smaller craft carrying passengers, messages, or specialized goods. Their sails catch the early sunlight. Slowly they move toward the harbor entrance. For sailors, the sight is reassuring. Many have spent days or weeks at sea. Some have survived storms. Others have battled dangerous currents. A few have faced pirates. The arrival at Alexandria means safety. It means business. It means opportunity. As vessels approach, harbor pilots prepare to guide them through crowded waters. The harbor is enormous by ancient standards. Yet even large harbors require careful navigation. One mistake can damage a ship. One collision can create costly delays. Experienced pilots understand the currents, the channels, and the hazards. Their knowledge is valuable. Lives depend upon it. Orders are shouted. Ropes are prepared. Crew members move quickly across decks. The harbor awakens with energy. The city may still be stretching awake, but the waterfront is already in motion. For many Alexandrians, this scene is familiar. For foreign visitors, it can be astonishing. Few places witness such a constant flow of international traffic. The harbor functions like a gateway connecting continents. Europe lies across the sea. Africa stretches southward. Trade routes reach deep into Asia. Goods from all these regions eventually pass through Alexandria. Imagine standing on the docks as the first ship arrives. Its hull creaks softly. Water splashes against wood. Crew members throw lines toward waiting dock workers. Moments later, the unloading begins. The process is surprisingly organized. Officials inspect cargo. Records are updated. Taxes are assessed. Laborers transport goods toward warehouses. Every step follows established procedures. Efficiency matters. Too many ships arrive each day to allow confusion. The harbor must function smoothly. The economy depends upon it. The cargo itself reveals the astonishing reach of ancient trade. Large jars of wine arrive from Greek islands. Olive oil comes from distant provinces. Fine ceramics travel across the Mediterranean. Timber arrives from forests far from Egypt. Glassware, jewelry, textiles, luxury goods. Every shipment tells a story. Every crate represents a journey. Every object has crossed oceans, deserts, or mountains before reaching Alexandria. Some items are familiar. Others seem almost magical. Rare spices attract particular attention. Their aromas fill the air as containers are opened. Many Alexandrians may never visit the lands where such spices originate, yet through trade, those distant regions become part of everyday life. The same is true for countless other products. Ivory from Africa, incense from Arabia, precious stones, exotic animals, foreign artworks. The harbor becomes a showcase for the wider world. A person could spend an entire day simply observing arrivals. Every vessel brings something new. Every cargo offers a glimpse into another culture. This constant exchange helps shape Alexandria's character. The city becomes cosmopolitan because its harbor is cosmopolitan. Foreign influences arrive continuously. Ideas travel alongside merchandise. News spreads with astonishing speed. A merchant vessel does not merely carry goods. It carries information, reports of wars, political developments, economic trends, natural disasters, royal marriages, military victories, rebellions, rumors. In many ways, Alexandria serves as the information center of the Mediterranean. What happens abroad rarely remains unknown for long. News reaches the harbor. The harbor shares it with the city. Conversations begin. Speculation follows. Information becomes part of daily life. The dockworkers hear it. The merchants hear it. The officials hear it. By afternoon, much of Alexandria may be discussing events that occurred hundreds of miles away. This connection to the wider world gives the city an unusual sense of awareness. Residents often know more about international affairs than people living elsewhere. They live at a crossroads. Crossroads generate information. Crossroads generate opportunity. Crossroads generate wealth. Nowhere is that wealth more visible than along the waterfront. Warehouses line portions of the harbor. Their interiors contain enormous quantities of merchandise. Some goods remain only briefly before continuing elsewhere. Others are stored for future sale. The volume can be staggering. Alexandria's position allows it to function as both destination and distribution center. Products arrive. Products depart. Money changes hands. Business never truly ends. Many fortunes begin here. A successful merchant can become extraordinarily wealthy. Trade rewards those who understand markets, those who recognize opportunity, those willing to take risks. Not every voyage succeeds. Storms sink ships. Pirates attack vessels. Markets fluctuate unexpectedly, yet the potential rewards remain enormous. Risk and reward are inseparable companions in the harbor. Among the busiest commodities is grain. Egypt is one of the great breadbaskets of the ancient world. The fertile lands surrounding the Nile produce immense harvests. Much of that grain eventually passes through Alexandria. The scale is difficult to imagine. Thousands upon thousands of tons, ship after ship loaded with food. Entire populations depend upon these shipments. Cities across the Mediterranean rely upon Egyptian grain. The harbor, therefore, plays a role extending far beyond Egypt itself. Alexandria helps feed the ancient world. This reality gives the city tremendous importance. Political leaders understand it. Merchants understand it. Foreign powers understand it. Control Alexandria, and one gains influence over a critical supply network. The harbor's significance extends far beyond commerce. It affects diplomacy, military strategy, international politics. Power often follows resources. Alexandria possesses both. As the morning progresses, the waterfront grows increasingly crowded. Workers move continuously. Sweat replaces the cool comfort of dawn. The sounds intensify. Voices echo across the docks. Animals transport goods inland. Officials supervise operations. The harbor becomes a symphony of labor. Every individual performs a specific role. Together they create something remarkable, an economic machine capable of supporting one of history's greatest cities. Yet the harbor is more than business. It is also human. Behind every shipment stands a story, a sailor hoping to support his family, a merchant pursuing success, a laborer earning wages, a traveler seeking opportunity. The harbor gathers people from countless backgrounds. Some remain only briefly. Others settle permanently. Many arrive intending to leave, but decide to stay. Alexandria has that effect on people. Its energy attracts them. Its opportunities encourage them. Its diversity fascinates them. The harbor serves as the first introduction to the city. And it is an impressive introduction. Imagine arriving for the first time. You step ashore. Before you rises a bustling metropolis. Crowds move through broad streets. Merchants advertise goods. Officials conduct business. Languages mingle. The lighthouse towers above everything. The city feels enormous, important, alive. For many travelers, Alexandria exceeds expectations. It appears richer than anticipated, larger than imagined, more complex than described. The harbor ensures that first impression remains unforgettable. As midday approaches, the pace remains relentless. New ships continue arriving. Others prepare to depart. Cargo changes hands. Contracts are negotiated. Money circulates. The cycle never ends. Day after day, year after year, generation after generation, the harbor sustains Alexandria, and Alexandria, in turn, shapes the Mediterranean world. Few residents stop to consider the full scale of what occurs here. The activity seems normal, routine, simply part of life. Yet viewed from a broader perspective, it is extraordinary. This harbor connects civilizations. It links cultures. It moves goods, people, and ideas across vast distances. It helps transform Alexandria from a city into a phenomenon. As the sun climbs higher above the Mediterranean, the harbor reaches full intensity. The quiet beauty of dawn has given way to the energy of commerce. The city is fully awake now. The streets are crowded. The markets are active. The government functions. The workshops produce. But all of it remains connected to the harbor, the source, the beginning, the place where the world arrives. And as another ship appears on the horizon, sails bright against the morning sky, Alexandria prepares to welcome it, just as it has welcomed countless others before. Because this city was built upon exchange, built upon movement, built upon connection. And nowhere are those qualities more visible than here. At the harbor, at dawn, at the beating heart of Cleopatra's city of wonders. Number chapter 5, Markets and Daily Life. By mid-morning, Alexandria is fully awake. The harbor remains busy behind us, ships continuing to arrive and depart beneath the watchful presence of the Pharos lighthouse. But the cargo unloaded at the docks is now spreading throughout the city, flowing into warehouses, workshops, and, most importantly, the markets. This is where Alexandria truly comes alive. If the harbor is the city's heart, then the markets are its pulse. Every day, thousands of people gather here: merchants, craftsmen, farmers, laborers, servants, officials, foreign visitors, the wealthy, the poor. Everyone eventually passes through the marketplace. Because regardless of status, everyone needs food, everyone needs clothing, everyone needs supplies. The market binds the city together. It is one of the few places where nearly every level of society intersects. The first thing a visitor notices is the noise. Voices seem to come from every direction at once. Vendors call out prices. Customers bargain. Animals move through crowded lanes. Children weave between adults. Merchants compete for attention. The result is a constant, energetic sound, unlike anything found in the quieter districts of the city. For Alexandrians, this noise is familiar, comforting even. It means business is being conducted. It means goods are moving. It means life continues. The second thing a visitor notices is the smell. The marketplace is filled with scents. Fresh bread baking nearby, fish brought from the harbor, olive oil, fruit, spices, incense, cooked meals sold from small food stalls. Not every smell is pleasant. Crowded cities produce unpleasant odors as well. Animals contribute their share. Waste accumulates. The heat intensifies everything. Yet for most residents, these smells simply form part of daily life. They rarely notice them. To live in Alexandria is to accept the sensory intensity of urban existence. The market is not merely a place of commerce. It is an experience. As we walk through the crowded streets, we encounter vendors selling nearly every product imaginable. One merchant specializes in grain. Another sells wine. Nearby, a baker offers freshly prepared loaves still warm from the oven. A fisherman displays his morning catch. A fruit seller arranges colorful produce in neat rows. The variety is impressive. Alexandria's position at the center of international trade means products arrive from across the Mediterranean and beyond. Ordinary residents may never travel far from the city, yet the world comes to them. A woman shopping for her household may purchase spices imported from distant regions. A craftsman may acquire materials from another continent. Foreign goods become part of everyday life. This access contributes to Alexandria's reputation for wealth and sophistication. Of course, not everyone can afford luxury. Most Alexandrians live practical lives. Their concerns are familiar: food, shelter, income, family, security. For ordinary citizens, the market serves an important purpose. It helps them survive. Bread remains one of the most important foods. It appears at nearly every meal. Its availability affects daily life significantly. A rise in grain prices can create hardship. A poor harvest can produce anxiety. Food security matters deeply. When grain supplies remain stable, the city prospers. When shortages occur, tensions rise quickly. Many rulers understand this reality. Keeping the population fed becomes a political necessity. The marketplace, therefore, reflects more than economics. It reflects the health of society itself. Observe the customers carefully. Some arrive with confidence. Their clothing suggests prosperity. They examine products leisurely. Price matters, but not excessively. Others behave differently. They calculate carefully. Every coin counts. Every purchase requires consideration. The contrast reveals an important truth about Alexandria. It is wealthy, but wealth is unevenly distributed. Magnificent mansions exist alongside modest homes. Luxury and hardship often share the same neighborhood. The marketplace makes these differences visible. A wealthy merchant may purchase imported wine and fine textiles. A laborer may focus entirely on essential foods. Both participate in the same economy, yet their experiences differ dramatically. This inequality is hardly unique to Alexandria. Most ancient cities contain similar contrasts. What makes Alexandria distinctive is the scale. The city is exceptionally prosperous. As a result, extraordinary wealth becomes visible. Visitors notice elaborate clothing, expensive jewelry, imported luxuries, grand residences. At the same time, they also encounter poverty, workers struggling to earn wages, families surviving with limited resources. The city contains both extremes and everything between them. Among the busiest participants in the marketplace are craftsmen. Alexandria supports countless trades: potters, metalworkers, woodworkers, glassmakers, leatherworkers, textile producers, jewelry makers. Every profession contributes something valuable. Their workshops often combine production and sales. Customers can observe goods being created. The process itself becomes part of the attraction. Skill earns respect. A talented artisan develops a reputation. Reputation attracts customers. Customers generate income. Success is possible for those possessing talent and determination. This opportunity helps explain Alexandria's appeal. People arrive because they believe they can improve their lives. Sometimes they succeed. Sometimes they do not. But the possibility remains. The city rewards ambition. As the day continues, food stalls become increasingly popular. Not everyone prepares meals at home. Busy workers often purchase ready-made food. Simple dishes are available throughout the city: bread, vegetables, fish, beans, fruit, wine diluted with water. These foods form the foundation of many diets. The wealthy enjoy greater variety, imported ingredients, more elaborate preparation, better quality products. Yet even simple meals provide an opportunity for social interaction. Friends gather, business discussions occur, news spreads. Meals become community events. Food nourishes more than the body. It nourishes relationships. The market also serves as an information network. People exchange news constantly: political rumors, economic developments, personal gossip, reports from distant regions. Information travels rapidly through crowded spaces. A merchant arriving from another city may possess valuable knowledge. Others gather eagerly to listen. Stories spread. Details change. Speculation grows. By evening, a single report may have reached hundreds of people. This informal exchange of information helps bind Alexandria together. The city functions not merely through trade, but through communication. Knowledge circulates almost as freely as goods. Children are everywhere, running between stalls, helping family businesses, carrying supplies, learning responsibilities. Their presence reminds us that Alexandria is not simply a center of commerce. It is home. Families live here. Generations grow up here. Parents teach skills and values. Communities develop traditions. Daily life extends far beyond economic activity. The market provides one window into that life, but only one. Beyond commercial districts lie homes. And homes reveal another side of Alexandria. The wealthy often occupy spacious residences. Some contain courtyards, gardens, decorative artwork, multiple rooms. Servants may assist with household tasks. Comfort is available to those who can afford it. Most citizens, however, live more modestly. Their homes are functional rather than luxurious. Space is limited. Privacy can be difficult to maintain, yet families adapt. Human beings always do. A comfortable home means different things to different people. For many Alexandrians, security matters more than grandeur. A stable household, reliable income, healthy children. These goals remain universal. As afternoon fades toward evening, the market gradually changes. Some vendors begin packing their goods. Others continue operating. Customers make final purchases before returning home. The pace slows slightly, not dramatically. Alexandria remains energetic, but the emphasis shifts. Work gives way to leisure. Commerce gives way to social life. People gather with friends. Families prepare meals. The city transitions toward another phase of the day. Entertainment becomes increasingly important. Musicians perform in public spaces. Storytellers attract audiences. Games provide distraction. Taverns welcome customers. Life is not entirely work. Even in ancient cities, people seek enjoyment, moments of relaxation, opportunities to laugh, chances to forget worries. Alexandrians are no different. Their lives contain responsibilities, but also pleasures. The marketplace reflects both. It is a place of necessity and a place of community, a place where business occurs and where relationships develop, a place where strangers meet and neighbors reconnect. By sunset, many stalls close. The crowds thin. The day's commerce draws to a conclusion, yet the influence of the market remains. Goods purchased here will feed families. Materials acquired here will support workshops. Information exchanged here will continue spreading throughout the city. The marketplace does not merely respond to Alexandria. It helps create Alexandria. Every transaction contributes to the larger story. Every conversation strengthens the city's social fabric. Every purchase supports another resident's livelihood. Together, these countless small interactions sustain one of history's greatest urban centers. To walk through the markets of Alexandria is to witness daily life in motion, not the lives of queens, not the decisions of rulers, but the experiences of ordinary people, the individuals who wake each morning, earn a living, support families, and build communities. History often remembers extraordinary figures, yet cities are built by ordinary hands, and nowhere is that truth more visible than here. Among the crowded stalls, the bargaining voices, the scent of bread and spices, the laughter of children, the endless movement of people through the markets of Alexandria, a city of wonders, a city of opportunity, a city alive with commerce, culture, and human ambition, a city preparing, perhaps unknowingly, for the arrival of its most famous queen. Chapter 6. The City of Knowledge. As the afternoon sun shines over Alexandria, another world thrives beyond the crowded markets, busy harbors, and bustling streets. It is a quieter world, a world built not upon grain, gold, or trade, but upon ideas. For while Alexandria is famous for its wealth and strategic location, many ancient visitors admire something even more extraordinary: its pursuit of knowledge. In an age when most people spend their lives focused on survival, Alexandria becomes a place where scholars attempt to understand the universe itself. They study the stars. They measure the earth. They debate philosophy. They record history. They examine the human body. They collect books from across the known world. Knowledge becomes a form of power, and nowhere is that power more concentrated than in Alexandria. To understand what makes this city unique, we must leave the crowded marketplace behind and enter a different environment, one of scrolls and scholars, questions and discoveries. a place where some of history's greatest minds gather. The story begins with a remarkable ambition. The rulers of the Ptolemaic kingdom want Alexandria to become more than a political capital, more than a commercial center, more than a royal city. They want it to become the intellectual capital of the world, a place where knowledge from every land can be collected, studied, and preserved. It is an astonishing goal, and for centuries, Alexandria comes closer to achieving it than any city before it. At the heart of this effort stands the most famous institution of the ancient world, the Library of Alexandria. Even today, its name inspires fascination. Ancient writers speak of it with admiration. Modern historians continue debating its size and influence. Legends surround it. Yet beneath those legends lies a genuine achievement. The library represents one of humanity's earliest attempts to gather all knowledge in one place. Imagine entering such a building, rows upon rows of scrolls, texts from Greece, Egypt, Persia, Phoenicia, and countless other regions, subjects covering every imaginable topic: history, poetry, mathematics, medicine, astronomy, philosophy, law, religion, agriculture, engineering. The collection seems endless. For scholars, it must feel like paradise. The rulers of Alexandria invest enormous resources into expanding the collection. Ships arriving at the harbor may have their books temporarily confiscated. Scribes create copies. The originals are often kept for the library. The copies returned to their owners. Whether every story about this practice is true remains uncertain. Yet the stories themselves reveal the city's priorities. Knowledge is valuable, extremely valuable. Alexandria wants as much of it as possible. Within the library and associated institutions, scholars devote their lives to study. Some arrive from distant lands. Others are born in the city. All share a common purpose: to understand, to discover, to preserve. Their work may not attract the attention given to kings or generals, yet their influence proves enormous. Among these scholars are mathematicians who develop ideas still studied today, astronomers who observe the heavens, geographers who attempt to map the world, doctors who seek better understanding of disease and anatomy, writers who preserve stories that might otherwise disappear forever. The city becomes a magnet for intellectual talent. If you possess curiosity, Alexandria welcomes you. If you possess knowledge, Alexandria values you. If you seek answers, Alexandria offers resources unavailable elsewhere. This environment creates something remarkable, a culture of learning. In many places, knowledge remains scattered. In Alexandria, knowledge gathers. The effect is transformative. Ideas can interact. Scholars can collaborate. Discoveries build upon previous discoveries. Progress accelerates. Consider astronomy. Night after night, observers study the stars above Alexandria. The city's clear skies provide opportunities for observation. Patterns emerge. Questions arise. What are the stars? How do they move? What governs the heavens? These questions may seem obvious now, yet in the ancient world they inspire serious investigation. Some scholars make astonishing advances. They calculate distances, track celestial movements, develop theories about the structure of the cosmos. Not every conclusion proves correct, but the willingness to ask questions matters. Curiosity becomes a driving force. The same spirit influences mathematics. Numbers hold power. Patterns reveal truths. Mathematicians in Alexandria explore geometry, measurement, and logic. Their work affects architecture, engineering, navigation, commerce. Knowledge does not remain abstract. It shapes practical life. A better understanding of mathematics helps build stronger structures, improves trade, enhances administration. Ideas produce real-world consequences. Medicine follows a similar path. Doctors in Alexandria seek deeper understanding of the human body. They observe patients carefully, record symptoms, develop treatments. Ancient medicine remains limited by modern standards. Yet progress occurs. Knowledge accumulates gradually, generation by generation. Every observation contributes. Every discovery matters. For ordinary citizens, these advances may seem distant. Most Alexandrians never enter the library. Most never meet famous scholars. Yet they benefit indirectly. Knowledge influences society. Improved techniques, better administration, more accurate records, practical innovations. The intellectual culture of Alexandria touches lives throughout the city. The scholars themselves lead fascinating lives. Some receive royal support, housing, food, financial assistance. The Ptolemaic rulers understand that attracting talent requires investment. As a result, scholars can dedicate themselves to study rather than survival. This arrangement benefits everyone. Researchers gain resources. The city gains prestige. Alexandria's reputation spreads. Visitors arrive eager to learn. The intellectual community grows stronger. Walk through certain districts, and conversations sound different from those heard in the markets. Less bargaining, more debate. Questions replace transactions. Ideas become the currency. One scholar discusses philosophy. Another analyzes literature. A third examines scientific observations. The atmosphere feels distinctive, intense, curious, alive. Disagreement is common. In fact, it is encouraged. Knowledge advances through questioning, through challenge, through discussion. Not every debate ends peacefully. Strong opinions exist. Scholars can be competitive. Egos sometimes clash. Yet these conflicts often produce valuable insights. The pursuit of truth rarely follows a simple path. Alexandria becomes a place where difficult questions are welcomed, at least more welcomed than in many other parts of the ancient world. The city's diversity contributes to this environment. People from different backgrounds bring different perspectives. Greek traditions interact with Egyptian knowledge. Foreign visitors contribute new ideas. Cultural exchange stimulates intellectual growth. The same diversity that strengthens commerce also strengthens scholarship. Knowledge thrives when exposed to variety. Books themselves become precious objects. Creating a scroll requires effort. Materials must be prepared. Texts copied by hand. Mistakes corrected. The process is labor-intensive. Every scroll represents significant investment. Libraries therefore symbolize wealth as well as learning. A large collection demonstrates both intellectual and economic power. Alexandria possesses both. Within the library, scribes work continuously. Their task is preservation. Without copying, texts disappear. Materials deteriorate. Knowledge is lost. The scribes serve as guardians of memory. Much of what survives from the ancient world owes something to individuals like them. Their work is often anonymous, yet essential. Without preservation, civilization forgets. Alexandria understands this better than most. The city becomes obsessed with collecting knowledge because it recognizes how easily knowledge can vanish. A fire, a war, a natural disaster, neglect. Any of these can destroy generations of learning. Preservation becomes a mission, a responsibility, a form of cultural insurance against oblivion. As evening approaches, the library grows quieter. Scholars complete their work. Scribes organize, materials. The day's discussions gradually conclude, yet learning never truly stops. Ideas continue traveling through the city. Students review lessons. Teachers prepare instruction. Researchers consider unanswered questions. Knowledge remains in motion, just like the ships in the harbor, just like the crowds in the marketplace. The intellectual life of Alexandria forms another current flowing through the city. Invisible, perhaps, but powerful. For all its wealth and grandeur, Alexandria's greatest achievement may not be its lighthouse, or its palaces, or its commercial success. Its greatest achievement may be the belief that knowledge matters, that understanding the world is worthwhile, that ideas deserve preservation, that curiosity deserves encouragement. Few ancient cities embrace this vision so completely. As a result, Alexandria becomes more than a center of trade, more than a political capital. It becomes a beacon of learning, a city where scholars attempt to measure the earth, map the heavens, understand nature, preserve history, and push the boundaries of human knowledge. Generations later, long after many buildings have vanished, this intellectual legacy continues inspiring admiration. The city reminds us that power can be expressed in different ways, through armies, through wealth, through monuments, or through knowledge. Alexandria possesses all four, but it is knowledge that gives the city a special place in history, a place unlike any other, a place where questions matter, a place where learning becomes a civic ambition, a place where humanity reaches toward understanding, and for a time succeeds more brilliantly than almost anywhere else in the ancient world. The harbor may connect Alexandria to the world. The markets may feed it. The palaces may govern it. But knowledge gives it a soul, and that soul helps transform Alexandria into a legend,